Good morning. Today we're doing an IG Live. I love IG Lives. I'm very excited. It is a very snowy morning. If you are in the New York City, Jersey area, we are getting a lot of snow today. So a lot of people are home, maybe doing their home practice. But we will be chatting. We will be doing a chat today with Celeste, the founder of Asana Soul Practice. They have 2 locations in New Jersey. They're our neighbors, basically. So we're excited to chat with Celeste today and hear what it's like owning a yoga studio these days. It's a very different world. As we chat with all these different. Oh, she's here. Okay, let's get started early. All right. Very exciting stuff. Oh, Megan, I see you here. Hi, Megan. Good morning. Megan, the founder of Sonder.
Hi.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well. How are you?
Good. How's the snow over where you guys are?
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, I mean it's snowing. It's really snowing out there, which is fun. It's nice to have a snow day. I'm home right now instead of at the studio, but we will still have classes. Snow day yoga is a great time, so we're excited to do a little yoga, warm up our bodies on a
Yeah.
on a cold winter day.
And I feel like because we've had such mild winters in this area, a little bit of snow and everyone freaks out a little bit. We're like, oh my God, we don't know how to handle it anymore. But it's good. It's all good fun. Do you mind introducing yourself before we start?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Celeste. I'm the founder of Asana Soul Practice. We are a yoga studio located in Hoboken and Jersey City. And we've been open since 2017. Uh, yeah, we just celebrated our 7th anniversary this February. Actually, we opened 7 years ago in Hoboken first.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're really grateful to be part of the community and to still get to do what we love the most.
I mean, and you've seen it all, right? So you opened in 2017. So 2017, fast forward 2024. What's it been like? I know it's a
Huge
huge
question.
question, but what has
What
it
is the
been like for you?
Oh gosh. I mean, it's been a wild ride.
Yeah.
It when we first opened, things were wonderful and great, and we quickly opened up a second location in Jersey City, and the first 3 years of our business were super strong, and we built a fantastic community and a wonderful team. We were feeling really high, and like the world is our oyster. And then, of course, the pandemic hit in 2020, and we were ordered to shut down. That day, I was teaching a live DJ yoga class with my husband, who's our co-founder, to a packed room. And later on, like an hour later, we're ordered to shut down, and we had a teacher training going on, and yeah, so it was awful.
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
we had a really it was the hardest time of our lives. We pivoted really quickly to online.
Mm.
We built an on-demand platform with over 100 classes. We leaned into live stream, outdoor classes when that was available to us. And we reopened 5 months later after
Yeah.
finally getting the green light, to then only being allowed to have 8 spots in the room.
Wow.
And
And how many does your studio normally fit?
like about 27. We've
Mm.
even reduced, so we only go up to 25
Mm.
per studio these days, just because we feel like it's best to have just that little extra space between
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
That's important, I think, nowadays. But yeah, we made it through. We persevered.
Yeah.
Uh, and decided that there was no other thing that we could do,
Mm.
as an
Right.
alternative. That this was the dream. This was, what we wanted to continue to do in our lives, to teach
Mm.
yoga, to do what we love. And even though it was so hard, and you know, we faced things that we had never had to face
Yeah.
before, we you know, we came out all right on the
Yeah.
other side.
And you
uh,
still have the two locations, right? They're still open.
we do,
Yeah.
yeah, we still have the two locations. I had a baby in 2020 as well. Um, you know, just so
Yeah.
happened that I was, you know, also pregnant, and it, so yeah, so that was crazy times
Wow.
too. She, you know, brought a lot of joy and light
Yeah.
into a dark time. Uh, we're feeling really good. You know,
Yeah.
2024 feels really positive, very
Mm.
full, very abundant. I'm just so happy to see the community return and to continue to return. I think we're still
Yeah.
seeing people coming back. You know, I
Yeah.
still hear people say, "Oh, this is my first class back in, you know, in a few years,"
Yeah.
because you just kind of get out of the habit, even.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to see the return of the community, and to feel very full, and to get to do special things, lots of events and workshops
Yeah.
and trainings, and it's been nice.
And I noticed too on your schedule, you have classes that start at 7 in the morning. So you do offer like a wide range of classes, and not every studio has been offering that. Like I've noticed a lot of studios, they start much later. So what's your community? Is it like a before work crowd? Is it just people working from home? Has there been a shift in who's going to the studio, or is it kind of the same as it was before?
I would say that, you know, there's been a little shift, and we continue to adapt as,
Yeah.
you know, as the needs of the community change, and going back to the office, etc. We used to start classes at 6 a.m. and
Yeah.
so starting at 7:15 a.m. is quite the luxury.
Yeah.
And people come out. Yeah, people are coming
Yeah.
out for those early morning classes to, you know, to get a kickstart for their
Yeah.
day. Um, some are working from home, and still coming to those early class
Yeah.
times. And then those that are going in, you know, have the opportunity to still come and take class to get that in before
Yeah.
their day starts.
Yeah.
We offer midday classes, 9 a.m. classes,
Yeah.
evening classes, weekends. So yeah, you know, we went from, I had felt really good about the schedule post
Yeah.
pandemic or pre
Yeah.
pandemic. And then I had to delete everything. I deleted everything. And it was the saddest. I was like crying, just, you know,
Yeah.
deleting all the classes out of mind,
Oh,
body, and starting from scratch, you know, where we had maybe two classes in a
yeah.
day, and maybe three people would come to those two classes
Yeah.
in a day. And so, you know, over time we built the schedule back,
Yeah.
and we kept, you know, just checking in with the community and seeing what times do you need, what
Yeah.
feels relevant to you right now. And so we're always listening
Yeah.
and hoping to provide what, when people want to come and practice yoga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love one of the reasons I love doing IG Lives. I love meeting our community. But when I hear these stories, that's a lot to go through. And you have to really love what you're doing to really get through stuff like that. I'm curious, what did you do? What was your previous career? Did you have sort of a previous profession? And then you said, no, I'm doing this other thing now. Did you have
Yeah.
a previous life?
I did. Yeah, absolutely. I think so many of us do start somewhere else. You know, I never expected yoga to be my livelihood.
Yeah.
Even though I loved it so much, it was something that was just for me, and I would go and take class and just feel so good in my heart and my soul in and after that class.
Yeah.
And I was in the corporate world. I was in uh, corporate for 10 years. Um, yeah, and I felt, you know, I had a career that I was
Yeah.
good at and I enjoyed, and that was what I had pursued in college. And kept trekking away, and
Yeah.
it started to eventually it wears on you. It's
Mm.
that lifestyle. And I knew I couldn't do it
Yeah.
forever. So it was some soul
Mm.
searching, some time to think about what does my long-term future look like?
Mm.
Where do I see myself? And when yoga started to come into my mind as a potential future, it
Yeah.
was like a light bulb went
Wow.
off. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just this idea that started this spark that became a flame and a fire, and it grew and grew, and as we planned and continued to plan. Some things start as a little tiny idea,
Mm.
and you do research and you're thinking about it, and oh, maybe it's not going to work
Mm.
out, so you kind of set it aside. But this wasn't that. It just
Mm.
kept making more and more sense
Mm.
as we continued to think it through, and eventually became a reality,
Yeah.
which was an absolute dream come true. I was so
Yeah.
thrilled. It just felt so right.
Yeah.
Of course, I was living a double life for a
Yeah.
while, planning this yoga studio dream while working my corporate job, and hiding like what I was doing in the background, just
Yeah.
trying to not, to have anyone notice.
Right.
And yeah, and then when the time was right, it just jumped ship, and it was like, this is it.
Yeah.
I gotta go all in to make this happen.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of have to, right? It really is an all-in situation, right? Especially owning a studio. It wasn't just like a small thing you were doing. That's a huge leap. It's a whole new business. It's a whole new way of living. What made you decide to open in the locations that you opened in? Were you living nearby? Was it where you grew up? Like, what was the
Yeah.
motivation?
So I was living in Hoboken and the surrounding areas for quite some time. So I was working in the city and living in Hoboken, and I met my soon to be, or who is now my husband, in
Mm.
Hoboken, and we were there for quite a while. Maybe, yeah, 10 years, about that,
Yeah.
same time that I was in the corporate world, and just came to love the
Mm.
neighborhood and had a good sense of what the community
Mm.
needed. We felt that there was an opportunity to do something different, something special that felt fun and inclusive and
Yeah.
colorful and bright, where the music was very, very important and integrated, and where the classes just felt like the
Mm.
the best hour of your day.
Mm.
That's what I was
Mm.
wanting for
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Because when I first started yoga, I didn't love it. I
Really?
didn't love it.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I had originally been a dancer,
Yeah.
just kind of loving
Yeah.
dance and taking dance classes, and dance became
Mm.
inaccessible, not having enough studios
Mm.
nearby. So I leaned towards yoga. I'm like, okay, let me try yoga and see if I can get what I'm looking for there.
Mm.
And I didn't love it at first. I just didn't. It wasn't as inspiring
Mm.
as dance
Right.
was, until I found a studio that
Mm.
really hit
Yeah.
home for me. And that was Laughing Lotus in the city. Unfortunately, they're no longer around.
Yeah.
It was just, it felt like you were on- in a
Yeah.
party. The music, the energy, the
Mm.
flow, and also the lessons,
Mm.
right? The connection to the meaning of yoga and
Yeah.
the stories, and you just drop in for this, oh, what's like, and it gets deeper.
Yeah.
The more you come, the more you realize there's so much to unravel, there's so much to
Yeah.
know, and you just start to feel like there's something bigger about this practice. And so that's what I was hoping to offer,
Mm.
this sense of connection to the roots
Mm.
of yoga, but also
Yeah.
making it accessible and interesting and fun, and and just really, not so serious. Like,
Right.
let's just come and be ourselves on our mat
Yeah.
today. And yeah, I do love it. I love it so, so much. And I teach 4 classes a
Yeah.
week at this time. I used to teach a little bit more. We have a fantastic team. So I'm really grateful for all of our teachers, all of our client experience leaders who make coming to our space such a positive experience.
Oh. And I love that you mentioned that your first experience with yoga wasn't all love and light and excitement and joy, because I think it's important for people who have tried it and maybe didn't enjoy it to try another studio and try another teacher, because that's what I always try to tell people. It might not be for everyone, that could be it, right?
Yeah.
But just try a few places, try a few teachers. There's so much opportunity, there's so many different styles, there's so many teachers that it might just not be the right fit. So to keep kind of trying and exploring the path. And I love that you say Laughing Lotus. That was my first studio as well.
Oh,
So
wow.
my first yoga class was actually at the YMCA, and that was a
Nice.
totally different experience. And then I went to Laughing Lotus and I was like, what is going on here? This is totally different. So there are so many ways to practice, and there's so much beauty in all of it, and even from restorative to vinyasa, what would you say is sort of a signature asana soul class? What is it? It's the music you mentioned. That's one thing, probably.
Yeah, so our most popular class type is an open level
Mm,
vinyasa class. So we are a vinyasa based yoga studio, which is a breath linked to movement, creative flow. So that would be, I would say, our signature. Yes, we have an amazing sound system, and the atmosphere in the studio really lends itself to dropping in and
mm,
feeling very immersive.
mm.
So that's also important to us, just feeling like you've got this dedicated space to really be present
Mm.
within the practice. So that would be our signature class. We also offer all different levels
Yeah,
of classes for those that are new, those that are more advanced.
yeah.
We also have yin yoga,
Mm,
restorative yoga. We have a great blended class called
mm,
Flow and Let
mm,
Go, where you get a little bit of vinyasa, a little bit
yeah,
of meditation, a little bit of restorative yoga too. So yeah, we try to offer a very balanced
mm,
range of classes so that it feels fairly holistic.
yeah.
We're not a super power studio.
Mm,
We have that, but it's also about just feeling really good in your body and having a, enough of kind of the softness
mm,
and the
yeah,
strength, right, to match each and every
yeah.
day that you feel a little different each day. So we want to make sure to honor that for our community.
I ask a lot of studios the same question, and I always love hearing their response. Have you noticed any difference in sort of what people gravitate towards the most now versus pre-pandemic? Is there a difference, even, or are they gearing more towards different hours of the day or a different style of practice? Have you noticed that within your community?
Um, it, I I feel like people generally still want the same
Mm,
things, even post pandemic. I think that most folks want to move
mm,
to take, if they've got a little chunk of time, they typically want to feel like they've done
mm,
something. There is a group of people that, just want to rest and relax, and that's
hmm.
wonderful too. And
Yeah,
we have that too. But yeah, I would say that most gravitate towards, kind of a classic open level vinyasa. Evenings and
yeah,
weekends are still our busiest class times.
yeah,
So yeah, I think that, we're still the same people.
yeah.
We still kind of want the same things. And, the only thing that's really changed is I think how people really choose to spend their time.
Mm,
I think it's really important to have a place to
Yeah.
go where you can connect with community. I think that's become even more challenging
Mm.
during and post pandemic, where a lot of folks are still working from home. And so you might not have as many opportunities to have a conversation and to meet people and to, to get out of your house and
Yeah.
to be somewhere that feels really special. And so I think that's something that we're good at providing.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
yeah.
honestly, like I've been having these conversations for a while now, and 4 years, we're almost exactly 4 years because we're in February, right? And it was March 2020. We're still feeling the effects of this. We're still, I think physically, emotionally, we're all still coping with it, even though it's been 4 years. And that to me, I'm surprised, that we're
Yeah.
still dealing with it. But how has your personal practice changed? I mean, since you opened the studio, 7 years ago, that's a big shift to go owning two studios, a baby and all this. Has it affected the way you practice or how you choose to practice?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm just grateful for any yoga class whatsoever. Anytime I can be on my mat, when I can come and be in the studio, it's a
Yeah.
blessing. And so, when I first started, I was really just interested in teaching the intermediate
Mm,
level soul power classes. That's where I found my strongest suit.
mm,
And of course, over time, that's
yeah.
changed. And I now I mostly teach our open level classes so that I have
Mm,
the opportunity to amp it up when it feels appropriate,
mm,
or to cool it
yeah.
down too when it feels appropriate. So, for instance, last night I taught, and it's cold. It's winter time, and sometimes we need to feel more
Mm,
fiery to get unstuck and to really move and break a sweat. And so it's wonderful when we can lean into that and to
yeah.
create an energy to support that. And then when we're tired, or when there's something going on in the world and we need to just like
Mm,
lie on our yoga mats
yeah.
and enjoy something a little more soothing,
Yeah.
you can do that too. So yeah, I'm just grateful for any yoga class. I love it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's, I think, a big difference. Yes, after having a baby, I'm also just so appreciative of my body
Mm,
and being in my
yeah.
body and having that personal
Mm.
time where it's peaceful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's so many benefits
And
to
also,
this practice.
it's also like, for me, especially coming from Laughing Lotus and that whole, power, move, sweat. And it was always a class had to be a certain amount of time. I have to start and end. Now to me, and I love this, it can be 10 minutes. It can be, 30 seconds. And it's so much more. I'm so, I guess, kinder to myself in terms of what I'm calling my yoga and how long it needs to be and how it needs to look.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the interesting things as your practice evolves and as you get older, quite honestly, that it's not necessarily has to be that power 60 minutes, whatever, but it could be, the 3 minutes you can breathe, or hold your baby and just relax and have a moment of quiet. And thank goodness, that it can evolve as we sort of grow and evolve, and it changes with us, which is one of the many things I love
Yeah.
personally about it.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
but it's
I feel my
mm,
best and my most authentic
mm,
self when I'm in the
mm,
studio, when I'm taking and when I'm teaching classes. And I think that's, it's such a gift,
yeah,
because you lose we all felt a
yeah,
little lost during the pandemic. Not a lot of opportunities to really just feel like your own
yeah,
self. And so, being in the studio, I feel
mm,
connected. I feel connected to myself and to others. There's so much
mm,
disconnect, so much disassociation too, with social media and everything going on, in the world. It makes it hard um, to feel content,
mm.
right? And I think that yoga really helps us find that sense of contentment.
Do you ever look back on your pre-yoga self and kind of look at her and go, wow, like does it seem like a totally different person when you know 10 whatever 15 years ago and your Celeste version then?
No, you know what? It's interesting because um, I think I really found myself
Mm,
through yoga. I think, when you do teacher training, you start to figure out your own authentic voice and self-expression through yoga. So I don't feel like a
mm,
different person. I just feel like I get to really be in my own skin
mm,
and feel good about that,
yeah.
and to be able to speak from the heart and to share something that I love so much with others. I just feel more and more myself. I think I was
Mm,
always there, but
mm,
I wasn't able to fully express it. I didn't have an outlet for it. So now it's
mm,
just like you get to
yeah.
shine as your own self. And that's what I encourage our teachers and our trainees to do. So, this is about being your most authentic
Yeah.
self, and embracing
Yeah.
that, and not trying to be someone else, not just finding your voice, finding what you're passionate about, and being able to share that. It's not easy to do, though, right?
Yeah.
Because it requires vulnerability too, a sense of openness, and
Yeah.
that's a challenge that we have to we work through.
And I always feel like, we know deep in our heart and our soul and our being what the right path is and what the right choice is for us. But then sometimes the fear, and the brain likes to get involved and sort of get in on the conversation and sort of have its opinions on things. And, I was chatting about this with another studio, but hopefully what we get with our practice is just that moment where we can listen to that voice that's telling us, maybe there's another way. Maybe it's not the corporate life, open a yoga studio, because because then you're fully living in yourself, and you're creating the space for other people to do it as well. So what a beautiful gift that is to everyone around you on top of everything else. I'm curious, was your family and your community supportive of the idea of doing this huge life change when you approached them about it?
Yeah, yes, yeah. I was very lucky to have a supportive family who said, "Yeah, okay." Like
Mm,
coming from the background that I had, I was, essentially running
mm,
businesses for others, and so I went into it with enough planning to know how much risk was present,
mm,
and to take that leap, knowing that I can do. I'm a firm believer in you can, if you want something bad enough, you can work hard enough and achieve
mm.
it. Um, but yes, also the circumstances were very supportive for me.
Yeah.
So I was lucky to have, a husband that was still in the corporate world. So,
Mm,
I didn't pay myself for a long, long
yeah.
time. And so, it was just there at the studio from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. every night,
Yeah.
every day, doing every single job. Uh, Nothing was off the table, and that was okay, because
Yeah.
it's you're following your dreams, and you'll do whatever it takes to make that happen. um so yeah, and my family, I come from an entrepreneurial background.
Mm,
My dad owns, or did own, a
mm,
pizzeria. And so, and he was an Italian
yeah.
immigrant. He came here with nothing, opened
Yeah.
up a
Yeah.
restaurant, and so he was also supportive of, follow your
Mm,
dream, work
mm.
hard, and you can do it. And
Wow. And that's
yeah,
that's truly a gift, that to have that kind of support around you is just it's such a valuable, that and the business experience, like you were set, and
yeah,
then from then on it's just do the work. right? So I'm excited to hear that, and I'm so excited that you've been able to expand. Are there any plans in the future to maybe a third location, or do you see the business evolving in any way? Or are you guys, kind of happy where you are?
Nothing's off the table. You never know.
Yeah.
Right now, my daughter's still very
Mhm.
young. So we're trying to just like settle into
Yeah.
life and see what happens as she, gets older and goes to, is in school 5 days a
Yeah.
week. And then, you never know. We're always open to whatever the future might hold. Right now we're having fun, just doing what we love at the
Mm.
studios that we have. Lots of trainings, lots of workshops and events. We have some retreats coming up as well. Yeah, so I'm leading a retreat to Tuscany in October.
Oh.
It's so magical. This will be our third
Wow.
year going,
I
and
mean,
we found
just
a
saying
great place.
Tuscany, and I've already relaxed. I'm already there. It's just like I already feel better.
Yeah, yeah, it's a great time, and if you just want to drop into, everything's taken care of for you, right?
Yeah.
You just like we do yoga in the morning, and we have, all the food, and then we tour around all these Tuscan towns, and it's very special. And yeah, we this will be our third year going,
Wow.
which
Oh.
is I'm grateful that I found this
Mm.
location during the pandemic, or they found me
Yeah.
actually. And they're a great partner too.
Yeah.
So it's nice when you can find a location, a venue that really
Yeah.
cares, really cares and is there and wants everyone to have a really special experience just as much as I do.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, so I check it out. It's on our website. It's happening in October, and yeah, and then trainings too,
Yeah.
right? So we're doing a 200
Mhm.
hour training right now, and that ends in a couple of
Wow.
weeks actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got a really strong group of trainees. I'm so proud of them.
Mm.
It's such a special time. It's such a potent time to be,
Yeah.
to be a student and to be a student with them
Mm.
too, right? And to just continue to revisit the depth and the breadth of the yoga practice and, discussion and
Mm.
workshopping poses and the philosophy and
Mm.
getting to bring in some of my favorite guest teachers too
Mm.
for their special subject matters.
Yeah.
I did my 300-hour training in India, and I'm
Yeah.
still connected to my teacher there, who's a former
Yeah.
monk, who taught us the Bhagavad Gita. So he came in via Zoom all the
Wow.
way from
Yeah.
Bali
Yeah.
actually to teach us about mythology and a little intro to mythology, and so that was so special.
Yeah.
And then I'm still connected to some of my teachers at Laughing Lotus as well, and
Yeah.
so we had Sherry Celentano come
Oh,
and teach
love her.
anatomy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just taught a training with her, creative
Yeah.
sequencing training that we
Yeah.
co-led. That was really magical, so special
Yeah.
for our yoga teacher community.
Yeah.
And
I,
yeah, just it feels really good to be doing these
yeah.
fun things, these very
Yeah.
fun, special things at our existing studios. Yeah.
And I love that. So you were training, and you trained with Sherry, and now Sherry's teaching with you. So one day one of your students is going to be teaching at opening centers, and then you're going to teach there. It's like such a beautiful community that's just expanding and growing
Yes.
all over the world, at this point, which is one of the beauties of the virtual and the Zoom options that we have now.
Yes.
Celeste, thank you so much for chatting with us today. So many opportunities to work with you, to hang out with you. You've got retreats, you've got online. I'm actually going to check out your virtual classes this
Oh
week. So
yeah,
I'm
that'd be
excited.
great.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank
And
you.
because I was looking at the schedule, I said, oh, they have early morning classes. I was so excited to see that. So I definitely want to plan for
Yeah.
those and check those out. So if you aren't in the New Jersey area, you have no excuse not to check out their classes because they are available via Zoom and in person as well at your two locations.
Thank you so
Um, and thank you
much.
for supporting our publication. We are a free community magazine, and only because of partners like you. So thank you for supporting our work as well and being a part of our community. And
I love
just
the magazine. I love your mission and what you do and your
thank you.
content, everything. It's so strong, and you're doing such a service for the yoga community by publishing this important magazine, and the articles within it. So thank you for that. And then I remember years back you
Yeah,
featured us
yeah,
as one of the go-to yoga studios in New
yep,
Jersey, which I was so excited
yeah,
about. I'm like, yes, oh my goodness!
yeah,
Like I admire this magazine, and they're gonna do a little piece
yeah.
on us. So that was so special, and I think I still have that magazine somewhere,
I think we
because
did
I just
that.
was so
I think we
happy.
did it right before the pandemic. I want to say that
Yes,
that's when I almost feel like we were in the area, like right before everything happened. Like
yes,
we were doing that. And I remember, and then we had to pivot as well. We were a local magazine, a New York magazine, and we had to, when everything kind of just changed, we were like, we had to change as well. And so we're like, let's be national. And then it's just like, okay. And it's been so amazing to meet so many. I mean, we were already connected with, the Jersey community. But now to just be connected with so many people across the country, it's been amazing. And to just grow our partnerships has been so much fun. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for, growing with us essentially.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm happy to grow with you and to be a part of the partner
Yeah.
community at Yoga Love.
Yay.
Uh, Looking forward to more great things.
Yes, yes. We have a lot of workshops coming up also for our partners. We had the one last weekend, which was with Ava Taylor. We have one actually coming up end of February, with the Sedona Yoga Festival. So sometimes
Oh,
people like to
cool.
present at festivals. So we'll have the producer and creator and the founder, chatting about, why yoga festivals, why be at one, why teach at one. So these are many of the perks you get as a studio partner.
And you know what? I That's one of my goals, is to
Yeah,
teach at a yoga festival. I think that would be the best, most fun time. And so, yeah,
yeah,
maybe we'll see. Hopefully
yeah.
that'll happen down the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to do. We want to connect everyone, with each other and then with the other partners we have, so that everyone can grow and, just bigger, stronger, bigger, greater community, essentially.
Yeah.
Thank you, Celeste, so much for chatting with us today. I know you're a busy lady and you got the studios and all that going on. So I
All
appreciate your
good.
time today.
Yeah,
And
thank
I will
you.
send you the link after we upload this as well. And we'll share it on our IG page.
That sounds
Thank you
great.
so much.
Thank you. Take
Take care.
care. Bye.